Hey everyone, welcome back. This is session 2 of Software QA and Playwright Automation. Today, we're going hands-on with Playwright Automation, one of the hottest tools in software testing right now. By the end of this video, you'll have Playwright installed your environment fully ready, your very first automation script running. So if you're serious about learning QA automation, stay till the end. Let's go. In today's session, we'll cover 4 simple steps. Step 1, install Node.js. Required to run JavaScript in Playwright. Step 2, install Visual Studio Code, our coding workspace. Step 3, install Playwright, the main automation framework. Step 4, write and run your first Playwright script. Simple, beginner-friendly, and practical. Let's jump in. Playwright supports multiple programming languages, but in this series we'll be using the most popular choice, JavaScript. To run JavaScript outside the browser, we need Node.js. So first, let's check whether Node.js is already installed on your computer. If you are on Mac, open Terminal. If you are on Windows, open Command Prompt. Since I'm using a Mac, I'll open Terminal. Now, type this command, node-v. What do you see? If you see a version number, great. Node.js is already installed. If you see command not found, no problem, let's install it. Go to nodejs.org. Download the LTS version. This is the recommended stable release. Run the installer, follow the steps, accept the agreement, and complete the setup. Once installed, you can delete the installer file if you like. Now let's verify again. Node-v. If you now see a version number, perfect. We are ready to go with Node.js. Now that Node.js is successfully installed, let's move to step 2. It's time to install our code editor. Go to code.visualstudio.com download and install Visual Studio Code. This will be your main workspace for writing and managing all your automation scripts. Once the installation is complete, VS Code will usually launch automatically. If it asks you to sign in or configure GitHub, you can skip that for now. We'll cover GitHub integration later in the series. Now let's move to step 3, the fun part. It's time to install Playwright. And the best part? The setup is incredibly easy. If you've worked with tools like Selenium or Appium, you probably know installation and configuration can sometimes take time and effort. But with Playwright, the process is much smoother and beginner-friendly. Let's dive in. First, create a folder where you want to install Playwright. You can create it anywhere on your computer. For this demo, I'll create mine inside the Downloads folder. Now that the Playwright folder is created, let's install Playwright. You can go to Google and search for Playwright installation. In most cases, the first result will be playwright.dev. Open the official site, go to the installation section, and copy this command. npm init playwright at latest. Now open terminal or command prompt, navigate to the Playwright folder you created, paste the command and press enter. First, it will ask if you want to proceed with the installation. Type Y and press enter. Next, it will ask you to choose a language. The default option is TypeScript, but for this series we'll use the most popular choice, JavaScript. TypeScript is built on top of JavaScript, so both are very similar. Use the down arrow key to select JavaScript and press enter. Next, it will ask where you want to store your test files. For now, keep the default folder, test, press enter. Then it will ask whether you want to add GitHub actions. Since we skipped GitHub setup earlier in VS Code, choose no for now. We'll cover GitHub integration later. Next, it will ask if you want to install Playwright browsers. Choose yes. This will install supported browsers like Chromium, Firefox, WebKit. The installation may take a few minutes depending on your computer speed and internet connection. Open the Playwright folder. You'll now see several files and folders automatically created. Open the same folder in Visual Studio Code, and you should see all those files there as well. We'll understand what each file does later. But for now, let's quickly look at the sample test Playwright created for us. What does the sample test do? It contains two test functions. First test, it opens the playwright.dev website and verifies the page title. Second test, it opens the playwright.dev website again, clicks the Get Started button, and verifies the installation text on the next page. Now comes the exciting part. Let's run the test and see Playwright in action. Before we do that, let's understand the playwright.config.js file a little bit. First of all, you'll see the test folder that we kept as default during installation. This is where the sample file is stored. It also has all the browsers set as default. For the time being, let's comment out WebKit and save the config file. We'll just keep two browsers. Now, open terminal or a command prompt and enter this command, npx playwright test. All the tests under the tests folder with files ending in .spec.ts will execute. Right now, we just have the one sample file. Let's see how it goes. Depending on the speed of your computer and network, the execution will take a few seconds. Isn't it seamlessly easy installation? And look at that execution speed. For folks who have used Selenium, you'll definitely see the difference. This is lightning speed. It ran 2 tests across 2 browsers in just a few seconds. But wait, what happened? I didn't see the browser. By default, Playwright runs in headless mode, meaning it runs in the background. Okay, let's check the results file. You'll cut and paste this command, npx playwright show-report. You can see 2 tests were run across 2 browsers within seconds, thanks to parallel running, which comes by default with Playwright. Once again, for Selenium users, parallel running is not a default option in Selenium and needs to be configured using tools like testng, which can get a little complex to set up. Also, running tests across different browsers is as easy as adding an entry in the playwright.config.js file, and the HTML results report that comes by default is the icing on the cake. Try doing that in Selenium. Yes, it's possible, but it doesn't come out of the box. You usually have to build or configure it yourself, often writing additional code line by line, which can take a lot of time and effort. There's no doubt Selenium is powerful and we can do a lot with it, but with Playwright, things just get simpler and faster. In simple words, folks who like Selenium like me will love Playwright. Okay, enough talk, let's do more hands-on work. As we saw, by default Playwright runs in headless mode in the background. This is usually the default setup because headless is much faster. Now let's see how to run tests with the browser visible. Now let's go back to the terminal or command prompt and exit the report mode by pressing Ctrl+C together. And enter the same command we used earlier, but this time add -- headed and hit enter. np xplaywright test -- headed. Now you'll see both browsers open, first the Chrome browser and then Firefox. Once again, use the same command to view the report, npx playwright show -report. Isn't this fun? Now, let's write our first Playwright script. Yes, we are now at the 4th and final step, and the most fun part. Writing our first Playwright test. For this demo, we'll use a sample application, saucedemo.com. We're going to create a simple login test using the username and password provided on the site. First, let's quickly verify it works manually. Yes, we can successfully log into the application. Now, to keep things simple, let's open the sample test file Playwright created for us. Copy the full script, paste it into a new file, and name it login.spec.js. Since we only need one test, let's remove the second function. Now replace the existing URL with https://www.saucedemo.com. We'll remove the old steps and add our own login steps. Look at the beauty of Playwright. As soon as you type, await page. Playwright starts suggesting commands automatically. What does that mean? It understands the page structure and intelligently helps write the next steps for us. It already suggests actions like entering the username, password, clicking the login button, and even validating the page. Just press Tab or Enter, and it fills in the statement. How smart is that? We'll understand these commands in more detail in the next session. And look at the selectors Playwright generates. Clean, readable, and reliable. No messy or flaky XPath issues. These are solid selectors designed to be more stable and easier to maintain. This is one of the biggest reasons companies are moving to Playwright. Easy installation. Easy to learn, fast execution. Reliable, non-flaky tests. Now let's save the script and run it. Use the same command, npx playwright test dash headed. Since we now have 2 test files inside the test folder, Playwright will run both. Let's check the report. Congratulations. You just wrote and executed your first Playwright automation script. Wasn't that fun? If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment, share it, and join the school group if you'd like to learn more. Everything is free. I create these videos during my personal time because I'm passionate about teaching and helping others grow. So if you'd like more content like this, show some support by sharing the video and joining the community. See you in the next session.